Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rise and Shine Yoga. Great to have you. Come on in. If we haven't met before, I am Jen, and I am going to lead you through a very nice, easy, relaxed Rise and Shine practice. If you've been here before, come on in, grab your comfortable position, and you can start doing a body scan, a gratitude list, a breathe in and out, whatever floats your boat. If you are new here, welcome. Rise and Shine practices are very relaxed. You can do them in your pajamas. You can do them right after you get out of bed, and you can do them right before you go to bed. There's no, Rise and Shine doesn't necessarily mean right in the morning. It can be. It can also be something relaxing in the middle of the afternoon. It can be something relaxing right before bed. Anything like that. Whatever you need it for, it's here for. So we always spend a couple minutes at the beginning just working on our breath, getting out of the mindset of what you were doing before and getting into the mindset of what you're doing now. So big breaths in, big breaths out. We're going to be here for about 2 minutes. All right, take 2 more slow breaths in and out. We'll do it together. All right, no matter where you are, we're going to roll our shoulders back and down. And back and down. And back and down. And let's really go the other way. Reverse it. Let's bring those arms up overhead. And let's make a field goal or a cactus shape. And come back up. And back down. Come back up. And back down. Stay here and just turn and face one way, really stretching out the side of the neck. Through the center and the opposite way. Come back to the center. Let those arms relax. Turn and face one way one more time. And the other way. Come back to the center. Point that chin up to the corner of the ceiling. So we're going diagonal. And reset. And go the other way. Reset. Now we're going to go down. and reset, and the other way. Come back to the center. Let's move around those wrists. Doorknob motions, moving around those fingers, getting some movement. Bring one arm across, give yourself a big pat on the back. Just give yourself a big hug. And let's do the other side. Big hug. Pat yourself on the back. And release. Bring those arms up overhead. Grab one wrist, pull over the side. And the other way. Come back to the center. Bring those hands down, and we're going to stand on up. So take your time. No right or wrong way to get there. And when you do get there, get yourself all situated. And come into a mountain pose. So our legs are right underneath our hips for the most part. Our arms are out to the side, big hands, shoulders back and down. Or a big triangle or a mountain. Let's cross one leg over the other. Hands on the hips, lean forward. Do you feel a stretch in this back leg? That's your hamstring. One up, uncross. Other way. Lean it forward. Come on up. Now let's just twist that upper body all the way to one side. So I have my elbow facing forward. Move to the center. I'm going to do the same thing. Twist. Back to the center. Let's bring our hands in front and let's twist. Come to the center and twist. Come back to the center. Let's just turn and face the front edge of our mat. We're going to bend our knees a little bit and just kind of sweep up, little back bend, and sweep down. Sweep up, and down. Let's do a couple more of these, just warming up that full body. And when you come to this back bend, stay here for a second. Look over one shoulder. Come to the center. Stabilize yourself. And look over your other shoulder. Come back to the center. And let's swan dive down. Let's bring those hands to the ground. Step one foot back. Come to your knee. Step the other foot back. Come to your knee. And let's swing those hips. Swing those hips all the way to the right side. Look over the left shoulder. And let's swing those hips to the left side and look over the right shoulder. Come to the center, tuck one toe, set a toe under, and lift that knee off the ground a little bit. And place it down. Let's do the same thing with the other side. Tuck those toes under, lift that knee just a little bit. So we're going to do these hovers today. We're going to do them release. Just like that, we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the knees off the ground. We're going to do a couple sets of this. We're going to hold it for a set of 5 seconds, a set of 10 seconds, a set of 5 seconds, a set of 10 seconds. If you want to change that, you want to hold it all the way through, cool, go for it. If you want to adjust the time in the negative sense, if we're doing 10 and you only want to do 5, that's totally fine. All right, so we're spreading the weight equally amongst our whole hand. We're tucking those toes under, and let's lift those knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take those hands off. Our next group is going to be 10 seconds. All right, you ready? Tuck those toes and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Notice I'm only coming a couple inches off the ground. This is not an big expansion, exuberant motion. This is just a little hold, okay? 5 seconds. Section 2, tuck those toes under and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. We have one more. It's our last 10-second hold. Come on up. Tuck those toes and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Sit on those heels. A little twist. Getting a little heat. Letting it dissipate. Other side. Come back to the middle. Let's have one leg out in front. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to put my hands on that thigh and I'm just going to lean forward. I can still see my front toes. They're still there. I'm getting a good stretch right here. Once I feel content here, if I want to take those hands off of that thigh, I can bring them up to the sky. And if I'm good here, let's open up to the side. I'm still leaning forward. I can still feel that stretch right here. And let's twist to the other side. Come back to center. Hands on that thigh. Let's lean forward one more time. And then let's lean back. Point those toes up to the ceiling. And then one hand on each side of the leg, just walking down, just slide them out. And release. Let's lean forward. Take that. Come back. We're back here in this tabletop position. And let's bring that other leg forward. Take a second, get yourself situated, no rush. Bring that those hands on the thighs and just lean forward. If that feels good, still leaning forward, bring those hands up. You can always open up to the side. And the other side. One side's gonna seem a lot more natural to open up to, and that's okay. That's just where your body is. But we're gonna make sure we're stretching both. Come to the center. Hands on that thigh and lean it forward. And then lean it back. Toes up. And walk most fingertips down. And let's lean it forward. Let's bring those feet back behind us or in our tabletop. And let's do some cat-cows. We're cycling through here. Nice and easy at your own pace. We're really doing a Halloween cat, arching that back. Or reversing that, coming into a cow pose. Head up, looking forward. And let's just switch back and forth. A couple of rounds. Let's do one more reach. And bring those knees in and sit back on those heels. Let's do some arms. We're gonna have our hands down by your side. Now, I'm sitting on my heels, my hands are touching the ground. It's okay, it's fine. If I come up, my hands are touching the ground. So I have a little bit more range of motion. So you can decide which one is better for you today. If you need this support, sit back and just kind of bring your arms out a little farther, and you're just gonna have a little less range of motion. But if you're full in today, come on up, give yourself full range. Hands are in front. We're coming up, cross over, grab the opposite elbow, come back down. And then we're gonna re-up and other way, other arm is in front. So we're just switching back and forth between the two. Our shoulders are back and down. Even when our arms come up, we're keeping those shoulders down. If I wasn't, it'd look like this, and we don't want that. We want relaxed bodies. Let's do one more of each. And bring those hands together. Sit back and twist. Through the center and twist. And through the center. Let's rotate our bodies, and we're gonna come into a puppy pose. So my forearms are on the ground. My hips are in the air, and I'm gonna bring my forehead to the mat. We're gonna go into downward dog in a couple minutes, or a couple seconds, or somewhere there in between. If you wanna go there now, that's fine, but we're gonna work into it slowly. If you want to come into downward dog with me, we're going to tuck those toes under. We're going to come onto our hands as compared to our elbows. And I'm going to lift those hips up off the ground. I'm going to pedal my feet. And then when everything feels good, I'm going to find some stillness. My knees are bent as generously as they need to be. No worries if your heels can't touch the mat. I've been doing this at-home yoga for a while now, and I haven't making progress towards touching my heels to the mat, but I've been fighting with tight hamstrings for well over 40 years now, so it's going to take a while, and that's okay. Let's lift the right foot off the ground, walk it forward a bit, And the left, walk it forward a bit. Bring the feet and hands to touch. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll it up. Take a second here if you want to grab some water. I always wear layers if I can while I'm practicing yoga, so I can take them off and put them on as I see fit. All right, let's bring those feet a little wider in the shoulders. We're going to point those toes out, and we're just going to lift up on the toes, lifting those heels, and back down. Up and back down. This is too uncomfortable for you. You feel it's too wide, you can bring those feet in. We're going to do another one. We're going to hold it up for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. See, I fell out of it. That's okay. It happens. No worries. Okay, so we're going to do the upper body motion with standing up, and we're going to add in a little bit of squat. So we're going to squat down. We're going to come up. We're going to reach towards the opposite elbow. We're going to come down, reset, and come on up, opposite elbow, and reset. Keep going at your own pace. Now, if you want to add on a little bit, you can lift up onto those toes when our elbows touch each other. If that feels good for you, making sure we're switching sides each time. Just adding a little bit more. I'm going to go a couple more seconds. I'm going to do one more of each side. I'm going to make sure that I'm balanced as much as I can be during a practice, because it's a little harder to balance everything in real life. So when I take the chance to do it whenever I can, and come on down. Bring those hands on the hip. 1, and switch. Just we're switching back and forth, lifting that deal up. Just alternating, nothing fancy. So let's switch it out. Toe up, toes up. Let me grab some water real quick. Hold it here. Wiggle those toes. Other side. Wiggle those toes. Wonderful. Let's bring those toes in. Let's bring those heels in. Let's bring those toes in. All right, hands here in prayer. We're going to sit back a little bit and do our twist. Little squat and rotate. Come back to the center. Other side, can we still hold it down? And come in. And let's rotate. Bring those arms all the way up. A little back bend. And come down. Bend those knees generously. Roll it on up. All right, feet wide again. Hands on the hips. We're going to do a little bit of a forward fold here, so we're going to lean forward. We're going to feel a stretch in the backs of the legs, and we're going to come to where our back is flat. I'll turn sideways so you can see I'm stopping here. If I go farther, my back's not flat anymore. This is my flat back. So wherever the flat back is for you, I'm going to reach towards one leg with this flat back. If I can reach the ankle with the foot, that's fine. If I'm nowhere near it, that's fine too. The big thing is flat back. And we're going to switch to the other side. We're going to come back to the center. We're going to bend those knees and we're going to touch the ground. We're going to let that head hang. And we're going to do
some yeses and some nos. Whatever movement feels good here. If this is making you dizzy, obviously we're not going to do it. But see what your body is telling you today. And find some stillness. Straighten those legs and roll up. Super nice and slow. Let's bring one arm out and let's look in that direction. The other hand is just down on the ground. We're going to come back up and we're going to switch it out, other side. And come back down. Now bring that first arm up. Bring that second arm up. And we're going to like pull it back like we're pulling an arrow back. Come through center and the other way. Our shoulders are back and down. So it's like we're pulling an arrow back. Let's try this again. Other way. And the other way. Release those arms. Let's turn and face. One foot is going to face forward. The other foot is going to face the side wall. We're just going to lean it in. We're feeling a stretch in this inner thigh of this straight leg. Our hands can be on our hips. Let's bring that top arm out. Let's bring that other arm in and pull it back. Release it down. Straighten that leg. Let's do the other side. So this leg is now facing forward, and this leg is now facing the side wall. Let's lean on in. Are we feeling a stretch in a similar place? I hope so. If we find that we're not feeling a stretch where you think you should be feeling a stretch, let us know. Totally help you out, no problem. We'll set up a little private couple minutes to figure out what's going on. But use us, that's what we're here for. All right, so let's bring up top arm, other arm, pull back. And release. Bring those toes to face forward. Bring those heels to face in. Bring those arms out. We're just going to lean to one side. To the center. And lean to the other side. To the center. One more time. Lean to one side. To the center. And the other side. To the center. Drop those hands. One foot faces forward, one foot faces the side wall. Lean on in. Bring those arms up. Let's lean forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center. Two more. Forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center. Drop down, shake it out. One more time on the other side. So lean on in, facing the sidewall, facing forward, arms up, lean forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center. Let's do one more. Forward, center, back, center. Drop it down. Bring those feet in, bring those toes in, bring those heels in, come on in. Standing up, nice and tall. 2 breaths like this. All right, let's turn turn and face the front of your mat. Let's bring those arms up, light back bend if you want to. Bring those arms down, bend those knees, hands on the ground. One foot back, the other foot back. Come on to your knees and lower all the way down to the ground. Bring those hands in front of you slightly and come up onto your forearms and a little sphinx. Drop that head. And release. I'm going to take my right arm and put it towards the middle of the mat. I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm going to take my left leg, I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to take my left hand and reach and pull in for a quad stretch. You can also reach through the other way if that's more comfortable for you. And I'm going to relax this other arm. My hand was in a fist. We don't want that. Relax as much as possible. And breathe into that stretch. My foot is coming in as close to a straight line as I can. My foot is not super far out. It is in. And I'm going to release. And I'm going to switch it out. My left arm is going to be across in this. My right foot is going to be bent, and I'm going to take my right hand. I'm going to pull that foot in. I'm going to release. I'm going to cross both arms over in front, so they're not physically crossed like a crisscross applesauce. They're one's right in front of the other. I'm going to drop the shoulders back and down. And I'm just going to lift up so I feel a stretch in my torso. And I'm going to release. I'm going to tuck those toes under. I'm going to push back through tabletop. And then I'm going to push back. So I'm giving my feet a nice stretch. If this is too much, you don't have to do it. Otherwise, we're here just giving a little love to our feet. And if we can spread the weight of our body amongst all the toes as compared to just 2 or 3, that would be preferred. And then release. I'm going to bring one foot back and just stretch that calf. Big stretch. I'm going to lift up and cross back behind. And release. Other side, stretch. And then lift up, cross behind, push back again. And breathe, release. Sit back on those heels. Shoulder rolls 3 times. And forward 3 times. Cooling it down. All right, we're gonna roll over and go onto our back. I'm gonna put my sweatshirt back on because Shavasana is coming. And I wanna be nice and comfy and cozy for it. So if you have something that you like to put on during Shavasana, socks, sweatshirt, blanket, grab it before we lay down on our backs. Once we get down there, we're gonna hug our knees into our chest. And if rocking side to side feels good, then that is what you should do. bring your hands behind the thighs. And let's lift the upper body up. Bring those noses, bring your nose to those knees. Of course, they're not going to touch. Well, maybe they do. They don't on me. That's okay. And then drop those feet. Drop those knees to one side, and let's look over the opposite shoulder. Come through center, other side. Come through center, bring one knee in. The other leg can stay where it is or be straight. And we're just gonna move that ankle around. Like we did with our hands and wrists at the beginning of class, and switch directions. Doing whatever movements feel good, squeezing those toes up, down, left, right. Just make sure you're equaling it out, whatever you're doing. And then that feels good. Other side. Beautiful. Drop that foot. Drop one knee to one side and one knee to the other side. This is a great use of prop if you have it near you, a couch cushion or something under each knee, but it's not necessary. You can just bring your feet farther enough away from your tailbone to make it comfortable for you. We're gonna breathe into those hips here for a couple seconds. Focusing on releasing those glute muscles. And then take those hands to the outside of the thighs, push them together, straighten out those legs, and come into Shavasana. We are not done with class yet, so this isn't a push stop and go on with your day. We have a couple more minutes left here, so we are going to spend 3 minutes in Shavasana, and then we'll just come back together into the real world. So we have our leg is just flip-flopped out kind of wherever they do land. We have our shoulder blades tucked under, and we have our hands open, hands relaxed. Now this is a traditional Shavasana. If there's a different position, if you get heartburn and you don't like laying on your back for long periods of time, it's fine. Do what you feel comfortable doing, but just try to relax yourself as much as you can.
slowly start wiggling those fingers and those toes. Let's point those toes down. Let's bend one knee and bring it in and do some circles on the hip. And let's reverse direction. And straighten it out. Other foot comes, or the knee, sorry, comes on in. Circle. Other way. All right, bring both knees in. Circle together. Other way. Drop those knees all the way to one side. Hanging out here for a couple seconds. And using that top arm to push yourself back up. Still here in our little ball. Turn and stretch out that neck one more time. And the other way. Come back to the center. Take a hand on the top of your head. Slide it just above the ear. And then bring the weight of that hand to help relax that ear towards the shoulder. And release. So let's switch sides. Hand on top. Bring it towards the ear just a little bit. And that's light pressure. We're not pushing, it's just gravity here. And then come back through center. Wiggle those toes. We're going to take our hands, we're going to bring them back behind us, we're going to bring those feet in, and we're going to push ourselves on to the toes. Now, if you are going to bed, stay here, don't worry. But if you're going on with the rest of your day, slowly straighten those legs and slowly roll all the way up to standing, super slow. Bring the shoulders back and down, open up those hands and mountain one more time. Big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in and big breath out. We are done. Thank you for joining me in this Rise and Shine practice today. Always looking for suggestions on things that you would like to see, so let me know. Either send an email to fitness@miter.org or just leave a comment below and I will be on it for you. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you later.